me why I didn't join the senior center. I said, because I don't want to be with those old people. And,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so I'm one of the old people and just wanted to be part of it.
Okay. Lee McKnight, I'm the vice chairman. Jay's rolling off this year. So, and we have to, in December, we'll vote on new officers. So I've lived in Iowa City for 6 years. And I was just walking with a friend past down Washington Street and it said Senior Center. Oh, let's go in. So we went in, checked it out, put my money down, and been a member ever since.
I'm not into astronomy. I've lived in Iowa City for 30 some years, and I'm a participant of the senior center.
Kristen Crumray, I'm the operations assistant at the senior center.
Latasha Deloach, the senior center coordinator.
Jay Gilchrist, current chair of this commission, retired here 4 years ago, a little over 4 years ago, back where we started out, 48 years ago. And we knew it was a great senior center. We read about all the activities and classes and things. And so my wife and I are involved in a bunch of different things here. So, okay, so minutes from last month. I was not here. I looked them over. Lots of interesting things going on. A lot of these things, I guess, Latasha, you will cover in the the minutes are here in your report. But there is one change that I would suggest. It says the meeting was called over by Gilchrist. That should be McKnight, probably, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I noticed.
I saw that too.
That's,
Oh, I didn't see that.
that's the only
Okay.
change I would recommend, but I've got notes about other things to maybe talk about later. Anybody else have changes? So I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes amended with one last name.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Nobody? Okay. All right, Latasha, wait a minute. Public discussion for items not on the agenda. I guess we don't really have anybody here in that
Well, we
capacity,
have
although
one.
you were the public person. Do
Got
have
anything you
any
wanna gripe about?
discussion of things that aren't on the agenda?
Well, I guess I'll just add, I grew up in Iowa, well, I grew up in Coralville, which I believe still falls under your purview. Everyone from there is allowed as well, right? It's like everyone in the county, roughly. So yeah, I did 18 years in Coralville and then moved to Iowa City for the last 16, so.
You would probably be considered an at-large representative, right? Once he gets on.
He's in Iowa City. So.
I'm in Iowa City
Yeah,
now.
he's
Oh,
not-
you're in
yeah,
Iowa
yeah,
I
he's
just
in
grew-
Iowa City.
I
He
grew up in
in
Coralville.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so that'll raise the question later of at-large, but we'll get to that, I think. Okay, I think, did we vote? It's all in favor, I think, of the minutes, okay? And all in favor of, I'm getting lost here. Public discussion. Anything, nobody else? Okay, Latasha, your turn.
All right. Well, here you already have questions for me. Programming update. Oh, there's so many things as we're turning into 2026 here soon. One thing that the staff and I are working on, well, actually we're working on a lot of things. I don't want to say one. Is to put together strategically what we're calling a social connections calendar, so that we can put all of the big dates for all of the big things like our concerts or like the Soul Train event or new members, all on one document, maybe even a magnet so you can put it on your fridge, so that everyone can know those dates in advance, so that you are like, oh, here's something that's going on. We're working really hard at, as I mentioned at our last meeting, on some of the front end of when people become members. So sometimes people become members because they just want to take a class. Well, we want to be more intentional, and I'll talk about this a little bit more with duties and roles later, but about how we reach out to those folks and see how we can get them more connected. Because sometimes people just need a buddy to go to class with, because it can be a little overwhelming. So we've been trying to discuss what that potentially can look like, who we can bring in to help support us on those ideas. And so we're working a plan, and hopefully we'll be able to present it even maybe next month about what that may look like. But our goal is for those connection activities to be able to put on people's calendar early, and then that way we can advertise them throughout the year and people kind of know about the big programs. It's always going to be a million classes, but the big programs on one document for our social connections calendar, since that is a huge part of the work that we do here. So that's kind of a programming to come update. Hopefully you all are good with that. We have quite a few concerts coming up next month, so people can check our program guide for a lot of the different things that we have coming up. We're currently working on our January, February guide, so we work probably about 2 months in advance of when they actually come out, because we have to get them to print and out to the mail, etc. So we're currently working on some of those things, and some really great new partnerships will be coming up there. As you all know, we have the Black Future Fest coming up. We are, and it has 3 dates to it, so I'm just putting it out there now. January 31st, we're partnering with PS1 down on Gilbert Street to do an open house to talk about celebrating Afrofuturism as a part of the Black History Month celebration. We've pulled in quite a few organizations so far for some of this work, so we're excited. We're still looking for artists who have Afrofuturistic work to go in our art galleries for the month of January and February, as well as we will be putting together, with Kristen's assistance and some other community folks, a community mural project, which people will get 4x4 canvases that they'll be able to decorate, and then we'll put together as a mural. Half of it will be here, and half of it will go to the Center for Afrofuturism, which is actually inside of Public Space 1. So that's a part of it. Those kits will be going out to different organizations like the Public Library. Maybe we can see if we can get some at City Hall here, and a couple other places where anyone in the community, no matter their age, can do a canvas. And we were able to get some funding from Public Arts Advisory Committee, Council, whatever, one of those, commission maybe, to fund those mural kits. So that's happening. A new thing, also part of the festival, I guess, is that it's not new. We will have a partnership with Film Scene, where they're right now getting films, short films that are Afrofuturistic, and there'll be a panel after that, and that's happening on February 12th at 6:30 at Film Scene. And then on the 14th, we have 2 events. One is a book panel about Octavia Butler's 2 books, Parable of a Sower and Kindred. That'll be at the Public Library on Valentine's Day. So we're celebrating love and liberation that day. And it will be at 1:30 till 3. And here at the Senior Center on that day, we will have a art show, art gallery show. We'll have a fashion show. So we have some designers right now that are designing clothing that are Afrofuturistic. So I'm excited to see what they come up with. And hopefully we'll have a few vendors. We'll have some food. And I feel like I'm missing something.
Vendors, art, fashion show.
Oh, the reveal of the mural. The reveal of the mural will be that day as well. So that's some of the things that's happening. In the process, we're going to be having some meetings with United Action for Youth, as well as Dream City, to see if we can get some community art workshops where people can do kits together as community. And we also plan on having a mural workshop here at the Senior Center on MLK Day. And we're also going to have a food drive that day as well. It's for food for our pantry. We didn't want to, the city is doing a large one, so we're trying to wait a little bit of distance before all of that and after the holidays to do a food drive for the Senior Center. But it's a day of service, so we're hoping to get some volunteers and some people who are willing to donate some non-perishable foods for our pantry. So that's kind of a newer thing, but you know, it's a day of service, so we wanted to see if people want to come and do some art and have a day of service that day as well. So we're working on those pieces. Those are kind of bigger pieces, as well as our choir and SSRO. And those folks are working really, really hard to put together really fantastic shows. So make sure you check those out. The dates are in our program guide, so you can check those out. And I'm trying to think if there's other bigger programming pieces that are coming up. Not that I can think of in this moment. Questions about programming?
I wanted to, you know, keep a positive thing with having a separate list of concerts. That makes it so easy.
Okay, you mean
And I
all
really appreciate that.
Okay, yeah, no problem. We're trying to find a way that we can make it easier for folks to be able to kind of know what's coming up. Because, you know, sometimes it's every 2 months and then you got to scramble and get it on your calendar. Yeah. So that's our hope, is that if we let people know far enough in advance, then, you know, we can have a better showing as well, because people will have it on their calendar. So it's something a little different. We'll see. Fingers crossed that it works well. But we will evaluate it and see if people like it, or if they want us to do 6 months, or go back to just put in a program guide too. So we'll look at it at the end of the year for sure. I think other questions about programming.
I do.
Yes.
Left, since I wasn't here last month.
Sure.
You had a great meeting, it looks like, but I'm pleased, happy. It's interesting that you talked about the gray wave and dealing with the increasing numbers of people and reaching out and connecting. All those ideas are good, I think. There's one here that says presentation at the new member lunches.
Yep.
Yeah, I
You
think
were there
those
for
new
that, and I
member
did that.
lunches, right. Those new member lunches are a good way to, and I would recommend that everybody try to go to those, you know, just to meet people and be as welcoming as possible for the new folks in town.
Are they on a regular basis?
Yes, so we have them basically quarterly.
Any particular?
So
Day
that's
of
why I'm
event?
putting out that social connections calendar, because it'll be
That's a
on
good
there
idea. Yeah,
in
'cause
advance, so
yeah.
you'll know when they are. That's my goal. I want to be able to give it to you early, so you already have it, so you can put it on your calendar. So I don't think the next one's till
March 11th, I believe, is
March
the date.
11th is the next one. So
It's usually a Wednesday noon.
yeah, it's usually Wednesday. We have lunch, so we just have So
Good lunch, good folks,
yeah,
good fun.
good fun.
And tours.
Tours, yes, we always need a tour guide. We had a bigger group this time.
Oh, yeah, and then we dropped people off along the way. We dropped 2 people off to play Scrabble.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
That's all right.
The Scrabble Club is growing.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Did they
that
come
was
back?
Nice.
Did they come back yesterday, those 2 ladies?
I
Maybe
don't know
need-
that the building is closed.
Oh, that building was closed, yeah.
Yesterday?
We were open yesterday.
Wednesday?
We were open yesterday.
We're closed.
We were closed half a day today. Yeah.
Oh.
It was
Oh.
open yesterday, yeah. We were here yesterday.
Wow.
So it's beside the point.
Libby sent me a thing saying the water main was
Yeah, that was
broken.
today. That was this morning. We were closed this morning.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
Well, I guess we'll see who was at Scrabble with
What?
somebody else that was here.
Sorry, I brought that up.
Next week.
Somebody mentioned senior college.
Mm-hmm.
That would be good to have better collaboration between us and
Sure,
them, I would
yeah.
say. Name tags in classes.
Mm.
I'm not sure. That
Good.
that could be a good idea. I don't
Yeah,
know.
possibly. Have to
Better
figure
age
that out.
survey. I'm curious to know if that.
Sure, we can talk about that.
Is that, maybe put it on for next month, or do you
So-
have any prelim report
So
about
I
it?
really, as ambassadors for the senior center, so the Better Age Survey, it would be so helpful if we could have more people fill it out. It takes about 7 to 10 minutes, I'm gonna be honest. What I appreciate about, I took it myself, what I appreciate about the Better Age Survey is we have specifically asked them to kind of ask certain questions. What it does is it will answer those questions and then it will give you a score at the end. So it'll say, hey, looks like you could use more connection, looks like you can do more of this. So it'll give you kind of a score on how you kind of scored with your answers, and then it'll give you recommendations on ways that you can be more involved or other things you can do. It'll take you to our landing page where you can look in the program guide. But we need to have 30 or more people to fill it out. Now we have over 1,600 members. I really think we could get more than 30 people to fill out that Better Age Survey, especially if some of our commissioners really remind people to do it. That would be so great. Because what the information we get, we don't get any of your personal information, right? We don't get your, but what we get is when you fill it out, they will send us a list to tell us you have a significant number of people who are feeling isolated or people who are, so then it helps us build programming around that. And then also with our idea of reaching out to people, we wouldn't know it's you, but we can say, hey, we really have this program and this program to kind of encourage people. Because one of our biggest visions for the senior center is to increase social involvement and to decrease the number of people who are isolated. So that's what that survey will allow us to kind of get a sense for. Maybe people want more fitness programs, maybe people want more weightlifting programs and not just so much cardio. You know, it'll give us a sense of how we can kind of do some of our programming. So yes.
I got a question. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
I got a
you're
question. Do you guys ever like go out to churches to talk to the boards of churches? Because there's
We
a
will
lot
go wherever people ask us to go.
Okay.
I
didn't know, like, do
Emily
you have
is
like
our
a thing,
community outreach
like
person.
a presentation or
Yeah, we
something
do.
like that? Okay.
Yeah, we do. So actually, Michelle went and did 2 presentations today
Okay.
in a couple different places. So I'm making a presentation in the morning to the fire department.
Okay.
So, we will definitely send wherever people. I've gone and presented at St. Andrews maybe a couple years ago. I presented there. So I've presented at maybe the UU Church. So just wherever people invite us to go, we definitely want to tell people about it. But we definitely have some big pushes towards reaching more people. And from a program standpoint, I guess, I'm starting to do some presentations to the fire department. I have asked the fire department, in all of their trucks, they're now carrying senior center brochures. So when they go to homes of seniors, that they can leave them a brochure. And so we have a graphic designer that is designing what we're calling a connection card. I should be able to bring it next month. It's in draft form, so we're still working on it.
Okay.
Where if a firefighter or police officer, I haven't presented to police yet, first presentation tomorrow, so I'll have a lot more presentations to do. But specifically, especially with the gray wave and what us having an increase of more seniors coming to the area for the hospital or the senior center or family, etc., being able to get a connections card where they can write down a senior's name, phone number, email, whatever they were willing to give, and then they would send us a note like they were looking for more programming or whatever, and then we would call or email them and say, here's our program guide. Do you want to join our newsletter?
Okay.
And so that's something
good
we're going to start having our night and weekend staff, as well as hopefully our ambassadors, to help us with calling those folks and reaching out to them and getting them connected. So,
Great. Thank you.
yeah, absolutely. We're getting there. We're getting there. Yes, ma'am.
If your question sends me a thing with the link.
Oh, the link to the Better Age? Sure.
I'll send all this
Yeah, you can send it out to
crap
others. That'd be great. Can we do that? So we'll have Kristen send you all the links to Better Age, and if
Yeah,
you
that'd
just
be
pass it along, forward it in your email, then other people can take it. They don't have to be a senior center member, but we are looking for people 50 plus to fill it out, because even if they're not here, it might help us to know why they're not here and how
But that's
we
in
can get
Iowa
them here.
City?
Iowa City area.
Iowa City area, okay.
Area, yeah, so Iowa City area. I think there is a question like, do you live in Iowa City, Coralville, or, so it'll kind of help us with that too, so. As you know, we have some programming in North Liberty and other places as well, so, yeah.
And I did the survey a while back. I think they had some little handouts at the front desk, right? With
Mhm.
a barcode on,
Yep,
with a
yep.
QR code on it.
Yep, yep.
And is the link going out with, how are people
We
able
could,
to access?
it's definitely gone out in the newsletter, but we can send it out again, and we, I think it might be a note in the elevator about it, maybe.
There was.
There
we
was.
had
Oh, we've
some
had
things
some,
happening.
we've had to have some more
updated
updates,
important
but
posters.
we can definitely put them back out. We have a student, here, Ivy, who has also been sitting in the hallway trying to get people to, though they kind of turned it into chatting with her versus taking a survey, but you know, we're working on it. We know our people, we know our people.
It could go in those weekly Stay Connected.
Yeah,
Email.
it probably is in there, but they're always a little dense. We have a lot of
Right,
things
lots
going
of
in there, so
stuff.
unless you go through it, well, maybe we need to
Put it
send
at
just
the
a
top.
separate one. We'll just send a separate one
Yeah.
saying, please fill this out. You really will help us with future programming. So we'll do that. We'll do that.
All right.
Okay.
And then, let's see here. Michelle retiring, that's,
Mm-hmm. That's next
we'll
month.
be having a hiring process for that, I'm sure.
Yep.
And then somebody brought up more seating on the third floor, and I don't know what that's all about.
People are just saying that, you know, such lovely seats already that we need more seating. And we were saying that in our interior design, one of our hopes is to move those kind of big, kind of on the other side on the right side of the hallway. We were probably going to remove all of those and replace it with seating. So seating is coming. You all know around here, I always say it's coming. It does get there. It just takes a while. You didn't think those windows were going in, but they're in.
They're here.
You didn't think the doors were going in, but they are in. So it just takes a little bit, but we hope to get new seating up there for sure.
So we have a place for everybody and a better place coming.
Better place coming. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Working on it.
Okay, well, that catches me up, and I think that I apologize for getting a bad cold last month.
No, don't apologize. It's fine.
So do you have an operational?
Facility.
I mean, a facility.
Yes, I can give you lots of facility updates. So, oh gosh, where to even start? So the doors are in. If you haven't had a chance, we're not boarded up with, you know, wood anymore. We actually have doors on the Lynn Street side. They're still doing some finishing touches on them, but soon we will, people will be able to exit out of them. But they look really good. Kristen and I went and stood across the street and looked at the building. We're like, not bad at all. So I think there's a couple of areas that they're touching up on, but we think they have to replace a couple of windows in the lobby after the holiday. But that'll just kind of be a switch in out type of situation that week. And so we hope that they'll be kind of buttoned up and done by the end of the first week of December. So that's happening there. So like I said, we got it done. It was hectic, but it got done. It got done. So grateful for those folks. I know they'll be glad to finally get to go home because they've been here for a long time. And so they will be out of here hopefully at the end of, you know, the first week, if not maybe roll into the next week, a few days. But as for the heating and cooling, I know that is a thing. They are working on it. They have been here. If you see the truck out in the alleyway, they have been here. They're working on it. And it's going to take a little bit of time because, you know, it's a massive it's a massive job. So, but my hope is once this gets fixed, hopefully end of January, I know we got to endure a few more weeks, that we will not have these heating and cooling issues anymore. So it's a nice size contract. We have some engineers and folks really working on it. So that will be being taken care of. So fingers crossed that all of that comes together well, and then we'll be able to have balance in the building and not cold in one place and warm in another place, and all the inconsistencies that we've had the last couple of years. So we are working on it. It is a slow process, unfortunately. Listen, me and the senior center, we share a birth year, Okay, so we have conversations in my office. I'm like, listen now, you gotta give us a break, you know. She's a sensitive soul. So really, really hoping, you know, that these things come together and they work out really well and we'll be done with the heating and cooling stuff, hopefully January, maybe February, but hopefully January. And it may move up too if they're able to really get in there and get some stuff done, then that'll be even better. So please know we're working on it. Trust me, if anybody is tired of being cold, I've been cold for years. So
The guy who runs buildings for the city is one of my former students. I
yeah,
can go yell at
yeah.
him.
Well,
I
I don't
know
think
you
it's gonna
laugh.
help. We've all tried that method. It doesn't quite work.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work, but it is getting done. They are here. They are working on it. We
That's
meet with them
cool.
weekly to discuss where things are, and so with the new windows, that also is helping kind of keep cold air out as
Yes,
well.
it's
So,
noticeable.
so we're working on it, and we're able to actually open the windows when it's too hot. That helps too. But it is difficult when every floor is a different temperature. So, but yes, we are working on it. But as for other facility things, yeah, most of the doors and windows are done. Anything else? Not really. Okay. The building's still standing. Fight on, senior center, fight on. But yes, we will be looking at landscaping at some point in the spring or so. I am hoping with you all's assistance and maybe some of our plant people that currently take care of maybe pulling a commissioner or two onto a committee to have some discussion about the type of landscaping that we want. I really want to get feedback on that. We do have a proposal out there. I'm really concerned with making sure that we have seating out there, that we have enough seating outside, or a place for people to be able to hang out outside or whatever, as well as, you know, plants and different things to make it look nice. So hopefully we can have some committee meetings, maybe starting in January, to kind of have some discussion about what that looks like. And obviously we have lots of experts here at the city that can kind of lead and guide us, but also really want to make sure that we're hearing you all's voices on what we want the outside to look like. So, but other than that, I think that that's plenty. You guys don't really want me to get into the nitty gritties of little tiny things. So those are high overviews.
Good, good. Questions? More discussion? That's the next item on the agenda, master plan discussion.
Yep.
Anybody?
I
Any
just have a-
particular questions? Yeah.
Can I just ask a question?
Sure.
Do they ever get like a machine with water bottles in it, you know, with bottles of water in here?
You mean like a
Like a pop machine only with,
oh, a pop
with wa-
machine,
not pop in it, but water.
like a vending machine?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We used to have vending machines.
There used to be
um,
one down on the ground floor, I think, or
It
something.
used to be,
wasn't
but
it?
that we turned it into the pantry and resource area.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what happened.
yeah. That's where it happened. We used to have one. It was really loud.
Cause I don't know how many times I've come in for a class or something and I've left my water bottle either in the car or at home, and then, and it's hard to do it with those, you know, if you don't have your bottle with you to
Yeah,
fill
to
it up.
fill
and
up the yeah. And we can definitely look into. We can. Let's see what our options are.
Just water, I mean, just for
Yeah.
water for people, cause a
Yeah.
lot of people drink water in classes too, I think.
We'll look into that. We have to. Some of it will be about the footprint of it and where it would go.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause like I said before, it was at that Washington Street door before it was the front desk, and so we did some remodeling, and now it's the pantry and resource area, and then front desk is there. So yeah, we had to just kind of think about that. But I understand.
Just one somewhere,
Yeah,
it doesn't have
yeah,
to be ground floor, it
yeah.
could be, I don't know, wherever,
I don't know. We can.
you know.
We're
it's just-
we're pretty creative. We'll see what we come up with. We'll give us a little bit of a moment to think about how we can do it.
That'd be cool, if we could.
What if we put paper recyclable cups at those drinking fountains?
That's not a bad idea either.
Yeah, we do have
Or something like
them.
that, cause people wanna drink water during class, but you can't, and sometimes they don't stop in the middle of the class, they just keep going, and people are,
Maybe we should do
I
like
know.
a paper cup dispenser. We usually place them on top behind the water bottle filter. There's usually little cups there.
yeah,
But maybe we could get like a actual like plastic cup dispenser thing or something next to it.
I don't know, something, yeah,
We'll look into it.
thank you.
We'll look into
Thank you.
it. It's in the notes, so we'll look into it. As for the master plan, the next step of the master plan would be the interior design. which we'll probably kick off at the top of the year. Probably putting out some bids for interior. But most of the exterior is done, the masonry, all of that. Right now, we're doing some internal work with the BAS system, the building automation system. But the hope is that we will start getting people who can kind of help us design color and carpet and different things like that, sound, different things like that.
That's something university could be brought into?
It probably will go to some type of design firm, some type of architectural design firm. Hopefully, someone who specializes in senior centers, so that we can get some folks that can really help us about making sure that we're preparing the building for people to come and not just people who are currently here. So we can do both. So I'm not sure who's going to pick up the contract. It'll be a contract, so they will have to apply for it. And then after that, then there will be a selection, obviously, with bids and stuff. I won't get into all that. I just show up. But that'll, because that's kind of come out of our engineering department, and they write up all the specs for that, and then it goes out to the world, and people get to bid on it by a certain date. So once that happens, I'll definitely let folks know.
Is that just people in Iowa, or like everybody in the whole world?
No, hopefully not everybody will. I think usually when anytime if it's a public bid, it goes out to public, and they will push it out, to obviously local, but they also may push it out to national folks. And and it's probably my fault, but I'm kind of insistent that it gets pushed out a little bit further, because there isn't any one. We're the largest senior center in the state of Iowa, and there really isn't anyone locally who has ever designed a senior center. They have designed some senior living, but senior living and a senior center are two different things to me. And so
Same thing.
I really am looking for somebody with some expertise to really help us, because if you go into senior living, the design of that is not what we're looking for at a public senior center. You know what I'm saying? I don't want autumn flowers. They put a lot of flowers.
Would it be helpful to go to the highest bidder?
No, it don't go to the highest bidder. That don't ever happen in government. That never happens in government. It always goes to the lowest bidder. We trying to save taxpayer dollars, so yeah. But yeah, once all that comes out and everything, then I'll keep you all updated. But it's in the works, but it's on a list of things that the engineers are getting to. So
Thanks, Latasha.
you're welcome.
So we have 6
Policies,
here.
yes.
Yes.
And maybe, is this like a first reading for us and we approve them next month? Or are we to approve them today?
That is up to your discretion, but we would prefer today, because some of them, we can tell you, a lot of these are policies we already have. The only one that is updated with more language would be, is this the right one?
There's two. I included because there were so many
Changes, we
I
included the
included-
older and, yeah. So the one that has the most changes would be the art exhibit policy.
So that's a brand new policy to replace
It's,
this.
yeah,
policy.
it's additional information added to it, and we can talk about that in detail. The other ones that are on here, we probably changed a word or two, so it really is the same policy. We might have took out like sniffer dog or something, I don't know, we took out maybe one thing.
Changed the budget numbers and.
Yeah, they're smaller
Here's
things.
my overview, reading through these.
Okay.
The new art exhibit policy is much better than the other one,
Mhm.
and I think looks good to me. I didn't have any suggestions. The next one is just pretty much taking out some stuff that's no longer budget, revenue, and expenses.
Mhm.
This just changing some language and removing some stuff and adding a couple of minor points here and there, correct?
Yep,
So, and then the next one is what?
community use.
Community use of senior center space.
I think we changed, we changed in the space rental during non-business hours from 5 days to 10 days, because we needed a little bit more time to be able to get those things set up. We were giving people 5 days to let us know, but we need more time
Yeah.
to be able to get that stuff set up.
The only, I was curious about the market rate for things, but I'm sure that's all done in conjunction with whatever the city.
Yeah, I
says.
think did we already approve that? It's something that we will eventually need to, that process of changing the price of the rooms
Yeah.
will probably be a process that we go through, we'll have to go through city council to change that, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, so, because, we would have to go through city council, but we would need to do a little research on what we think the right price is and go through the process with the attorneys and city council and you all. And then we would, obviously you all would approve it before we take it to city council, so. But we haven't got there yet because we have a laundry list of other things we're trying to get to, so, but we
So
will
this,
get
I
there.
think, outlines the different procedures for nonprofits, community groups,
Mhm.
for-profit groups. I think it seems to me to be well-written and well amended. What's the next one?
The next one is.
Hours of operation, that
Yep.
just reflects the change that's
Yep.
been made.
Yeah.
Yep.
Insurance coverage, just quilts. I guess there used to be a lot more quilting than,
There was a ton
Yes.
of quoting.
right?
Yeah.
So that makes sense. One I had questions about, the insurance coverage.
Mm-hmm.
What's that mean, the number one where it says property damage? Physical media, it's the new thing that you're putting in there, taking out for the quilt stuff.
Yes, so when we're saying physical media for legacy transfer services, we're talking about if you have a VHS and you want it turned into, put it on
Oh,
USB.
okay.
But
I couldn't
that's
remember.
the language that they have to use now,
Okay.
is legacy media.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so, it was easier to say that than VHS and CDs and
That makes sense. Okay, thank you.
So
Yeah.
that's not art hanging on the wall. That's
No, this is more like when
TV on the table.
right, that's like when people bring us in like their VHS or something, they want us to put it on a USB. So
Oh,
that's,
okay.
yeah, that's one
That's
of
a
the.
Brad thing.
Yeah, it's a Brad thing, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Membership
thank you.
program, that's pretty much reflects the way things are, I would say. The addition of a number 7 there, I guess, about outside organizations, I guess that's expanded, right, from United Health to Silver Sneakers.
Yeah,
to
yeah. Just to include those folks.
Medicare providers.
Yep.
Does
providers.
AARP provide anything?
We don't have an AARP one at this point, no, but it would be more like, Renew Active
Insurance
and
companies.
different insurance companies will provide a free
Okay,
membership.
cause I
yeah.
think don't they have their own insurance things too?
Who,
Or-
ARP?
It's-
Yeah,
all
ARP
that
has a
stuff.
bunch of, but we
Most
don't
of
have
theirs-
that, yeah.
Most of theirs are through United Healthcare,
Mhm.
which
Okay.
already has the Renew Active, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah,
I was just wondering who they were talking about there.
Mhm.
Okay.
yeah, that's just talking about those.
I have this to be, I have a check mark here, I don't know why, but it says a comprehensive evaluation of the membership program shall be conducted on an annual basis.
Yep.
I guess that's just a matter of
We're always looking,
day in, day out,
and
okay?
that's where my data comes from, to call people.
Your data's not hallucinating, I hope.
No, I really try not to do that.
Okay.
I work on that quite a bit, yeah.
Okay.
Did people have any specific questions about the new partnership with the art exhibit policy?
That's the big one that has the most.
Yes, that's the one that has the most changes. Mostly, we're going to be partnering with the public art coordinator that is based out of the city manager's office. And we'll be collaborating with not only our senior artists, but also some community artists to kind of collaborate and have more folks throughout the year. So also one of the asks in there, is just so as a reminder to you all, is that we will have to ask for someone from the Senior Center Commission to be a part of a smaller group to look at the art potential submissions, and then we would agree upon who we want to have as artists kind of for the year, and that's a one-time thing. It probably
I
at the
could do
top of the
that.
year. Okay. Yeah, so we'll send it out when we first we gotta pass this policy, then we can, we'll put a call out to public, and then
Thank
we'll
you.
we'll get some people for that. So we'll send out a note to all of you and see who can email us back who wants to be a part of that.
So
Okay,
are there
can
any-
you explain, the first part, that if they've exhibited at the senior center before, they're not eligible? Why is that?
Let me see. Welcoming space for exhibit their work enriching,
Well, that's a good point.
you talking about artist eligibility? Oh, okay.
Number one.
Works previously exhibited at the Iowa City Senior Center or other are not eligible. So if you already had an art show and it's the same art, so we're saying if you do another art show, it needs to be new art, not the same art.
Okay,
don't
thank
think-
you for
So
clarifying.
you're saying
Yeah.
it works, not
bringing
the
your
artist.
same old stuff.
Not the artist, no.
Okay,
We're just
that's-
saying that
I see what you're
if we don't want people to bring the same show
Right,
because
Okay.
it would prevent somebody else who has art
yeah,
from showing new art.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Any other points of information? Points of suggestion? Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to approve all 6 of these new and newish policies.
So moved.
Second,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 Nobody opposed, I don't think. All right, so done deal. Thank you, guys,
Yeah.
for all that. Okay, on to the next topic, duties, roles, and expectations of the commission. I know that we had, our bylaws in the packet.
I think that was more for the nomination.
Okay.
Yes, for the next bullet.
So for duties, this page on this thing from the city website,
Mhm.
is that,
Mhm.
is that instructive about what we should be doing?
Yeah, well, we could talk about it. We could talk about it more. I have some ideas because I'm not going to come in here without ideas.
I did make a lot of copies, and I only made 2, so if you wanna read that and pass it around. This is one paragraph from the Iowa City webpage that talks about the senior commission,
Okay.
talks about duties of the senior commission. I took and broke it down into the
Oh,
boldface.
well, thank you.
The different aspects of that, so.
Yeah. So, as you see, I'll just go ahead and read it for those who don't have it in front of them. To serve in an advisory role to the city council, right? You all are appointed by city council, so therefore you serve in an advisory role to city council with regards to the needs of the senior center and its participants, right? So, I'll just start there. We can talk about that. So, one thing that we used to do in the past, and it's something that every time we get changing of the guard a little bit, different groups of people have different ways that they kind of see that. Sometimes I feel like I'm only going to go down there if it's really something going on here and we want city council to know. What we can do is formalize it a little bit more, and we're talking with staff. It could be that we recommend that we have commissioners go at least to public, what's it called? Comment, and they can comment about the senior center twice a year. So then that way they're advising city council and saying, these are the things that we find valuable at the senior center, or talking about, we really need, maybe it's a pressure point of something that we see happening at the senior center that you all want to go to council and say, we really want to see more flowers or something. I don't know, something like that. So I am creating a potential drafted calendar that I will try to bring next month of the months that are a little slower at council, where you will be able to have a little bit more of their attention because they don't have as much usually on those months on their calendar. One, I'm suggesting January because that's when they start talking about the budget. So, you guys can go ahead of me and be like, senior center's great. So, and then the other one is probably in the summertime when things are a little bit slower, but be a great time to really elaborate on the really amazing things that we're doing. So that's one thing. The other thing is that we usually do an annual presentation to the county. And I know that Lee and Jay have come. I don't know who else has come. But that has always been great when we can have commissioners come to that meeting to add to me standing up there and providing them with data. It's nice to have human beings that are recipients of the services. So that's something we can also have commissioners go to. We only do that once a year, but you can go to any of those meetings if you want to. The next part was, in conjunction with this role, it makes policy and program recommendations. So today we just did policy, but program recommendations, we used to have a group that provided program ideas. I am interested in potentially asking commissioners to do a subcommittee of people in the as members to maybe twice a year or quarterly have discussion of more programs that we currently have or new program ideas, and then that would be you all reporting back to this meeting from your subcommittee the different ideas. It would go into minutes, and then we would pass it on to our program specialist or community outreach person. So that's something else that I'm recommending. It says join staff and other interested persons in seeking adequate financial resources for the operation of the senior center. So we may have fundraisers coming up in the future, but one way that you all can fulfill that is to come to our pickleball event that we have, because that is our large fundraiser for friends of the senior center, and it'd be great to have commissioners there. You don't have to play pickleball, but you can come and greet people and meet people, and that could be something to fulfill that part of the role. Encourages full participation. So that is why we say you all are our mouthpieces, whether it's the Better Age Survey or whatever, getting out there just telling people, hey, come down to Soul Train. Oh, they have line dance. Because more people are gonna come from you than Latasha going and doing presentations. Now they might come because I'm pretty snazzy, but they're more likely to come because you invited them. More people are likely to come regardless of who invites them, if they're invited. And sometimes people are not as curious to just walk in because they see the sign, so they might need a connection. So that could be one way. Promotes the effective integration of the center into the community. So that is you all being able to be at some of the different things that we have in our community engagement section of our program guide, but also just being out there talking about it, you know, and making sure that when you're looking in that program guide, if you see things where we can be more effective in the community, or for instance, our pantry, I feel like that is very integral of some of the work we're doing, but we're serving the community. You know, that wasn't something we did in past times, but we're serving probably 150, 200 seniors a month with our pantry. So you all are welcome to volunteer for that, or just come and talk about the commission. There's usually a large group of people out there. It's a great way to do that as well. Cooperates with organizations sharing common goals, acts as an advocate with regard to the needs of area senior citizens. So that would be you all specifically in regards to these. So for instance, we were talking about the gray wave and how by 2030 we'll have a lot more seniors. That might be a great thing to go and talk to city council about. Like, what is your strategic plan looking like that is really involving seniors?
We're doing this, why aren't you?
You know, like, you know, so what does that look like? Advocating, like, are we gonna have the things we need when we have an increase of seniors here in the community? Those are things that you can advocate for, and you don't have to just go to city council. At their meetings, you can email them, or you can call them, or you can leave them a message, or you can talk to county. What are you all doing? You know, so if we're talking senior citizens in the area, that is something. And assistant city manager in the evaluation of personnel. So that's probably me more than is the rest of my staff. Usually my evaluations are in January. If you have a complaint or a compliment, you can feel free to send a note to Jeff Fruin, who's our city manager. And he usually is like, I got a note. I'll be like, oh Lord. But feel free to make comments to him, or, you know, or any of those folks in the city manager office, and let him know how you think things are going here at the senior center. I don't mind feedback, because like sometimes I miss things. A lot of times, I always tell people, lately I've been telling people I'm just the Wizard of Oz here at the senior center. I'm behind the curtain. pulling the levers and pushing the buttons. Because that's a big part of what my job is an administrator. So I don't always get to get out into all the things going on in the building. So if there are things, if you don't put it in the comment bucket or you don't tell me at the meeting, sometimes I just don't know. Or if you don't tell staff, we just don't know. But we want to make sure people are comfortable and welcome here. And so if we can improve on any of that, let us know. So, other thoughts on that? I'm done with my part.
So I think I will, if it's okay, email this out to
Sure.
everybody, and so everybody has a copy. And but it's a paragraph on the, like I said, the city webpage that talks about duties. I don't know when it was written or.
Probably in its infancy.
Yeah.
Probably in the 80s.
Mhm.
It was probably written in
Early
the
days
80s.
of the senior center.
Yeah.
But it's still, it's like one of those
It can be
things that
updated for sure.
But it has maybe some lasting value to it.
Mhm.
So, based on all that, what Latasha just went through that paragraph, and we can pass it around to those that haven't seen it yet. But any comments, suggestions, ideas, advice? I was thinking maybe we should invite the city manager to one of our meetings.
Sure. Sure. Or you can always
know?
invite a counselor can
And,
come.
yeah,
Sure.
is there a particular counselor who oversees, or do they divide up their duties along?
I don't think we
different-
have a liaison per se,
Liaison,
but we
right.
can send an email to all of them, or one of you all could, and say, we would love for one or two of you to come to one of our meetings.
Yeah,
And then they'll just reach out to Jeff, and then Jeff will reach out to me, and I'll be like, sure.
anyway, that's one thing that I.
Yeah,
thought
and
of.
it's one way to also get information back to them, because sometimes at the meeting, they'll say that, was there any community correspondence or something, and they might say,
Right.
went to the senior center meeting and learned these different things too, so. We don't always have to go to them, they can come to us
Right,
too.
say.
Does the
we'll
city
give you a glass
council
of
have
water.
a pulse of the city?
I would hope, but sure, they should if constituents are reaching out and talking to them, But sometimes the louder voices get heard and the quiet ones don't as much. So, they probably have the pulse in some places, and other places maybe not. So, but if we don't say anything, then they're not. How do we expect them to know?
We need to be a more squeaky wheel, maybe.
Well, I will hide the WD-40.
That front door's squeaking. I don't know if you heard that.
We want people to know when you come in. I want to know that you came in the door. Just kidding.
Okay, well, thanks for that discussion, everybody. Now we have a nomination committee, and that's gonna be you and me, Warren, because our terms are up. And I don't know if anybody wants to express their wishes at this point. I have told Kristen that I don't intend to run for another term. I've enjoyed doing this, but I wanna get involved. I wanna try some different things out and find different ways to get involved in the community as far as leadership or membership of a commission or things might go. So, my position will be open on the board, and you will elect a new president next month, is that right?
Yeah,
New chair.
Yep.
Lee, you've been the vice president. Would you or anybody else be interested in that role, perhaps, or think about it? I don't know, and we don't need to decide now, but that's all I have to say about this, and then we'll have to get together and talk about.
I'm going to try to re-up.
Okay.
You all are still the nominating committee.
So we need to find another person to take my place on the commission. Is that correct then?
No.
There's one seat currently still available.
Yeah. If
There's two.
well,
John
would technically
John's
be
getting
taking
one.
your spot, and so if Warren re-ups, then his spot would be re-upped by Warren, and if not, then somebody else.
So we don't need to recruit a new
No, I don't think so.
commissioner. Okay.
I don't think so.
Good to know.
Simple. Yeah. Our nomination committee work. so it's up to you guys to decide who's gonna be the next officers.
Yeah. So you all can send notes to those two, and then at the next meeting, we'll take nominations, and then we'll have some, don't we have voting sheets or something?
We can just do it verbally.
Can we have a campaign night, you know, where people?
I mean, if you want to, feel free.
Vote for me.
Feel
Vote for
free.
me, vote for me.
But yeah, that's fantastic. I'd love it. But
Now, if we can get a list of who's, you know, for who's going for what.
oh, well, yeah, we'll know that at the next meeting.
We'll ask, yeah.
Yeah, at the
Okay.
next meeting, people will say, you know, or I'm nominating Lee.
Okay.
And
That's
then
what-
he can accept or not accept. And then, you know,
I still think we should campaign.
I mean,
I
hey.
got a call from Nancy, what, now 2 years ago or whatever. Would you like to be chair?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was on the
Oh.
nominating committee, yeah.
She was on.
Oh,
Your term was up, but you re-upped.
Yeah,
So,
that happened.
so.
I hope you
And
guys
who's
are.
the secretary? That's, do we have one of those?
Do it. It's
Hey.
Nancy.
Nancy,
Mhm.
you know, she takes so many notes for us.
So you have to consider if you wanna stay in that role or not. Okay, all right, so. Now my memory's coming back to me. Okay, enough about that, unless anybody else has anything on that. Community correspondence, are you getting cards and letters from people? Or remarks from people?
Can you speak a little
Are you
louder?
getting community correspondence? Is anyone in the community talking to you about, what?
Nobody, I've asked, you, what would it take to get you to come? What do you wanna see? What do you wanna do? Nothing. They're perfectly happy to sit in their apartment, right?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's true.
They're not isolated, they're not unhappy,
Yeah,
you know, they're just, see ya, and off they go.
We need a TV room here in the senior center.
oh Lord. Man, we have a TV. If you go and work out in, you know, the cardio room, there's a TV in there. Sometimes I just sit.
There's 2 TVs over there. A very big one in the assembly room, and another one in the library. And when I first moved here about 5-6 years ago, they were well attended, like like the girls' basketball games. Crowds and cheering and popcorn and nobody. I mean, I watch them, and I have people in my apartment watch. But as they're just not interested in group activity of any kind. And
Do
and
you all have a coordinator over there?
What?
Do you have somebody that coordinates that for you, or is that coming from the actual?
It's actually individuals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, their
Yeah.
own interests.
Okay. So it has to be
There
initiated
are
by.
certain programs or certain events that are held,
Mhm.
but for the most part, everyone's individually, you know, interested
Yeah.
or not interested.
Okay.
This is just an idea. Perhaps we could organize a taste of the senior center, little session over at the towers, and
What?
have taste of the senior center. You know, bring over some treats and then a little sample of this or that program, and talk about what goes on over here. And then also at the same time make it a listening session to see what ideas to answer that question you raised of what would you want? I don't know, and we could go over there and do a smorgasbord, or I don't know what you would call it, but anyway.
We are having an open house next year. We're having an open house where people can walk through. We'll have treats and stuff. For our 45th anniversary in September, we'll do an open house
It's September.
in September. But we will have other stuff before that, obviously. But I'm just saying, in our open house is usually when we do like those sample classes where people can be like, oh, the ukulele group or the Voices of Experience. So we do something similar to that in September. We'll do that for our 45th anniversary. But we will have other things, opportunities. Soul Train will be happening. The new member events will happen. The Future Fest with the fashion show is free. Just come over and check it out. So we'll have those opportunities. We're gonna start these things called midlife mixers, but those will be actually held in the community. Trying to bring in some of our more 50, 60 crowd to start getting more familiar with our services. But I mean, everybody's welcome, but like we're trying to get those folks recruited early. So we'll do some of those a couple times a year, as well as our larger events. So those will be on that social connections
I got
calendar.
a question. Do you have like an outreach committee or anything?
We have a community outreach position that does outreach, but
Oh,
if
okay.
you all ever want to commit, if you all ever want to create a subcommittee as a commissioner, it is in our bylaws that you can do
Okay.
that. So if we want to do an outreach
Something to think
committee,
about, maybe.
then you all can do that,
I will say one more thing about myself. I may go off the commission, but I'll remain as an ambassador. And if you want to send an ambassador somewhere, or assign me some sort of duty or any of these ideas that were floating around, I'm willing to help out with those kinds of things.
We'll send you. Do you have a passport?
Send me on a big airplane to Saudi Arabia, and I'll see if I can get the crown prince. Okay, all right, enough of
Maybe
politics.
Switzerland. Maybe we'll take you to. The hills are alive in Switzerland. We'll send you there.
Okay, future agenda items. Adjourn. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
I shall move.
Second,
I'll second.
all in
All
favor?
right.
We're out of here.